Hi, this is Kerry Artag with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. I made some adjustments. We've been in this sort of two-sided consolidated framework for the last week and a half. 119.68, the 5/8 Fibonacci, has been an obvious resistance level that we had as an intraday point for a while, and then we had a channel top and so forth. But we're back to considering it our upside sign for bullish continuation into October trade upon settlement above. And there is a newly formed descending channel bottom at 112.54. This is our area. Downward pivot point into later week below 112.54. We did have that descending speed line. Is it noted anywhere here? We're no longer, I can kind of redraw it for you, kind of dropping down like this at a pretty steep pace. It's dropping too far, too fast now. I mean, I think it was a very valid level to buy into when we first took it out a week and a half or so ago. But because it's so far below the market now, I do think we can see our pivot points right here on this chart into later week. And perhaps, into later, well, not later October. I think these are 1 to 2 week signals, essentially. 3 to 5 days, 1 to 2 weeks. 112.54 is a buyable level, support level for day traders. Can you buy it on a 3 to 5 day? I don't know. I think what you can expect is a return to 119.68 within 1 to 3 days. And 119.68 inversely may continue containing buying pressures on a daily basis, and we could fall away from here back to some variation of this 112.54 channel bottom. But if we do close below 112.54, I think there's a decent case to be made for this convergence of a trend line that goes back to April and the very low settlement price, the lowest this market has closed since the all-time high was put out in June. So I think you can make a case. I think you can play the short side. And I say making a case, I mean like you can rationalize, justify playing the short side in NVIDIA through the week and into next if we close below 112.54, and your target would be the upper 90s. Now on the way down, we do have a simple trend line at 105.86, and respect should be given to this. Now, this would be like a 1 to 3 day objective. And, we could bottom out here for a week, and that is the problem with what we're seeing right now. That we might just have a series of levels that are very tradable for day traders, 3 to 5 day swing traders, but the 1 to 2 week scenario is a bit muddled. But I will hold to, and if you are a 1 to 2 week swing trader and we close today below 112.54, I see no good reason to be long NVIDIA as we continue through the week and into next. I do think we can rotate. We've seen that kind of a rotation here, from later August into early September, and we could see another one here if we close below 112.54. This also after having tested, the 5/8 Fibonacci so frequently over the last week and a half or so that after that, closing below 112.54, it's play the short side of this market into the upper 90s. I think that's the play I can support, and I'll be talking that way through the week if we close today below 112.54, noting that on the way down, the 105.86 simple trend line may contain daily selling pressures, and we might even get a nice bounce here. But then continued daily settlements below 112.54 will keep the upper 90s in reach. Keep that in mind. And yes, let's say the scenario is we close today below 112.54, tomorrow we test the 105.86 trend line, and then the following day we close back above this channel bottom at 112.54, well, then we'll shift back more toward anticipating 119.68 as our next upside breakout. It's just kind of the way it'll play out if it does play out that way. But last time I'm going to say it, if we close today below 112.54, the upper 90s become our 1 to 2 week objective where profits can be taken, and you can play the long side in the upper 90s in anticipation of upward rotation as we move into later October. If over the next couple of weeks we close below 97.72, then we test the much more significant 83.67 descending channel bottom, which is several months in the making and able to contain selling perhaps through the rest of the year. But I don't see a good reason to anticipate 83.67 unless we close below the upper 90s. And I don't see the upper 90s unless we close today below 112.54. Let's go back to the upside. 119.68, an obvious resistance area that, if settled above, should set off follow-through buying over the next 3 to 5 days into the upper 120s. 128.39, this former channel bottom, can contain daily buying pressures, but I do think there's a decent case, and I don't even know if we show it here. Do we? Yes, we do. I think there's a decent case to be made for a settlement above 119.68, ultimately yielding this rising 140.26 channel top. Now, there will be trouble in the upper 120s, low 130s. You can see 131.36 there is the August high, and you've got the upper 120s, the 128.39 area. That zone will be narrowing every single day and coalesce around a single point over the next week or so. So your 3 to 5 day swing trade to the upside is a settlement above 119.68, expecting 128.39, and your 2 to 3 week swing trade to the upside is a settlement above 119.68, anticipating 140.26. Now, if you are long right now for whatever reason, and you may be following the settlement above, there were a few. There was a speed line, and a rising speed line, and a descending speed line. I'm going back over the last couple of weeks. So if you're long based on all that, you want to see the market close above 119.68 to stay long. But I will reemphasize that if we close below 112.54, my suggestion is to exit that long position and perhaps consider playing the short side as we move into October. The upper 90s then are considered a 1 to 2 week target. 3 to 5 day swing traders, though, could play the short side below 112.54 down to 105.86 and take profits, and even perhaps bottom pick if only for a day, and closing below 105.86. Then the next 3 to 5 days is the upper 90s. But last time I will say it, I've been saying it now for the last 5 minutes. Last time I'm going to say it. It's closing below 112.54. We anticipate the upper 90s within 1 to 2 weeks. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Remember, we offer a 5-day free trial up front. You can bail after 5 days at no cost to you whatsoever. 2 stock picks a week. We also have daily triple Q, daily SPY analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis. You get it all. And you can see it all for free for 5 days by signing up for wickedstocks.com. You just might then decide to stick around based on all the great information we provide on a daily basis. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's NVIDIA report. You have a great day.